This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, let us begin. Okay, in the last session, we were talking about few more questions. Let us continue further from the remaining questions. Okay, we were till here. Okay, next question is, did you work on LTMC or migration tool? So whenever somebody is asking you about whether you worked on LTMC or any migration tool, point number one, you need to understand what is LTMC. Before you understand what is LTMC, you need to understand what is migration. When we're talking about migration, we're talking about legacy data migration from your existing system into SAP system. Either that can be SAP ECC or SAP S4HANA system. You need to be very careful which project you are referring here. If you're referring to any S4HANA project, you need to accordingly give your answer. If you're referring to any ECC project, accordingly you should give the answer, but not in a generic way. When we say not in a generic way, we need to make sure one point that we've already understood, that anybody who is now entering into the market, whoever is representing any implementation project, is most likely S4HANA implementation project. Now, according to S4HANA implementation project, LTMC is the most commonly used migration tool, which is predefined, which is provided by standard SAP. Now, when you're talking about migration, first point, forget about LTMC or any other tool. Understand what object you're referring to here. Whether you're referring to GL account migration or you're referring to customer master migration, vendor master migration, bank master, asset master, or any transaction data. Depending on what migration you're referring to, accordingly you need to quote what object you used in LTMC or LSMW you worked, or you used any BAPIS directly, or you used directly any kind of a BDC. The question here representing, did you work on LTMC? As you're all aware, in the standard SAP S4HANA system, for almost all the object, when I say for almost all the migration object, most commonly used masters from the FI side, most commonly used transaction from the FICO side are predefined by SAP. You need to represent, yes, I worked on LTMC in S4HANA system for my data migration. Do not mention you worked on complete data migration, which you may not be working in any project. Represent that you migrated only certain set of data. Maybe I migrated only GL account, or I migrated only vendor account, customer account, or you performed any changes. You migrated all the GL accounts, but later on we understood that some information was incorrectly updated. We had to revise the data, or we had to amend the data. For amendments, for any revisions, for any corrections, majoritarily we will be going through LSMW. For fresh data loading, you will be using LTMC. And any other migration tool that they are talking, strictly talk about LTMC, first priority in S4HANA system, second priority LSMW, third priority is your BDC. Because BDC requires ABAP programming or ABAP coding, which normally we do not encourage. Writing ABAP programs for your data migration purpose is normally not encouraged, because this is a one-time activity. For this one-time activity, you will have to refer if there is any standard functionality, or you see if you can create a LSMW. If no possibility is there, data volume is high, huge, then only you will go for a BDC. Otherwise, straight away you do not go for it. Don't mention you used BDC just like that, because immediately they will put a cross question, why you could not use LTMC, why you could not use LSMW, why you had to go for BDC. Then these kind of questions might create confusion, might put you in a risky situation to convince. Because of what we are talking, we are getting the cross question. So here I hope everybody practiced how LTMC work. You need to understand LTMC, just how a project is created, how you assign the different migration object, how you will download the template, how you will fill up the template, how you will upload the template, and the process. Like you're all aware, for the LSMW, you've got around 13 to 14 steps in LSMW. Now, out of these 13 to 14 steps in LSMW, you have to see and then remember important point. You'll have to remember important points from the LSMW, and then the stages. First thing, what you are going to do. Is it every time 13 step, or only some steps are repeated, some steps are one time? Okay, until your recording and then field mapping, it's a one time setting. After that, right from the specify file onward, it is a repetitive, meaning same LSMW project can be used multiple time based on the data. You don't have to record LSMW every time that you want to upload. It's a one-time recording which can be used multiple time. Similarly, when it comes to LTMC, what are the execution steps for LTMC? You will go to LTMC. LTMC will have a screen. Now there is no T code for it. You'll have to search through Fiori app called LTMC. Now this LTMC works where? You need to understand where will this LTMC work. LTMC will work on S4HANA system. Is this possible in all the system or only till a selected version in S4HANA? Anybody?
1909.
LTMC is applicable until 1909. Now here one more point you need to be very particular about which version of SAP S4HANA implementation you are representing. If you are telling that you were part of a project where your client was working on S4HANA 2020 version or S4HANA 2020 version, 2021, 2022 version, do not talk about LTMC because we don't use it. From 2020 onwards, LTMC is replaced with migrate your data. Functionality is the same. It is replaced with migrate your data. You'll have to accordingly tell. Otherwise, because you do not know, LTMC is not applicable from 2020 onwards. You are telling you loaded the data using LTMC in 2020, 2021 will put you in trouble. Okay. And execution steps you need to write down. What you do is create another LTMC project when you get time. Observe all the steps, whatever is happening. First, you are going to LTMC or migrate your data. You are creating a project. Inside your project, how you are migrating the data? You are migrating the data from staging table. From the staging table, you are selecting one package and then you are choosing whatever the object that you want. GL account, cost center, profit center, posting, whatsoever. And after that, what you're doing, you're downloading the template and then you're filling up the template, uploading the template, data validation is happening, data upload is happening, simulation is happening. Then all these things you'll have to tell in the sequential order at a flow. In the sequential order, in a flow, you need to tell so that the other person feels confident that yes, this candidate is aware of the process. It is not about whether your points are correct or not. It is all about how you are conveying it to me. What is your flow? What is your confidence level? Whether you are explaining me the key points or not. I don't want to hear everything from you. I only want to hear key points from you. If you are able to put those key points in your explanation, that is more than sufficient. Okay. This is about your LTMC migration, migrate your data or migration tool. Next one, automatically, what is this? Automatically system will moving the, what is this question? Whose interview is it? Automatically system will move to the new system in tab. Is it related to config? This question is not clear.
Sir, he was asking about this DR movement, sir. The same, from development to quality we will release now. The same TR only will move to the production
Now
system
I
or
think this is your client copy basically. If that is the case, then this is your client copy. Development to development. Whatever we discussed in the last session, it is that. Development to develop. So this is going to copy all the configurations automatically with the help of client copy SCC1.
okay, okay.
Okay. This is that. This is already discussed. Did you work on technical clearing account? Why we need this technical clearing account in S4HANA? I think this is also we already discussed. Technical clearing account we already talked about. Any configuration is required for this technical clearing account? Yes, there is a configuration. What configuration is required for this technical clearing account? It's only the account determination, otherwise nothing else. All your asset accounting configuration will remain as it is. Along with that, in S4 HANA system, you have to maintain technical clearing account, which is an asset reconciliation account. This account will have to be maintained at the chart of account level, meaning one time you maintain the technical clearing account at the chart of account level. This is applicable for all your company codes irrespective of the location, meaning India company code, China, Singapore, Dubai, US, all the company codes will be sharing or will be using same technical clearing account because this is assigned or this is configured at chart of account level. This is again everybody is aware. Next one, did you work on APP? What are the tables are getting updated while payment run in S4 HANA system? This is also, I think we have seen in the previous session recently. Whenever you're talking or whenever you're working on automatic payment program, you need to understand once your APP is executed, which tables are getting updated. You'll have to remember PAYR table, REGUP table, REGUH table, REGUS table. These four tables, if you're able to remember, that is fine. So what you need to do, create one automatic payment program. Create one automatic payment program with two payment method. Payment method check, payment method bank transfer. You'll have to create automatic payment program in your practice company code with two time. One time you should run a payment with payment method check. Second time you should run one more automatic payment with payment method bank transfer. You don't need to do any setup additionally. While creating the payment method, you will have a radio button, whether it is a check payment or it is a bank transfer, right? One payment method you enable check, another bank payment you enable bank transfer. Now run the check payment automatic payment program first. Make sure that the payment is processed, payment document is generated. Straight away go to the table PAYR, REGUH, REGUP, REGUS. These four tables, if you remember, that is fine. These are the four tables that they will be expecting from you. Now tell them if it is a check payment, which tables are getting updated. Similarly, if it is a bank transfer payment method, if it is a bank transfer payment method, explain what tables are getting updated. Is it PAYR, REGUH, REGUP, REGUS? Now the only point is REGUP, REGUS, REGUH are common. PAYR will come into picture only in case of a check payment. If it is a non-check payment, PAYR will not be updated. If it is a check payment, PAYR table will be updated. If it is a non-check payment, in short, if it is a bank-to-bank transfer, your PAYR will not be updated. That is the only change. And you need to explain them what data will come from each of the table. PAYR, what details will come? In PAYR, you will only get check related information. PAYR will update only check related information. Similarly, REGUP, REGUH will give you the payment related information. Payment proposal data will be there. Payment data will be there. One will be updated along with the invoice detail. One will be updated without invoice detail, meaning one table out of REGUH, REGUP, one table will show the payment along with the invoice detail. And one more table will show the payment without the invoice detail. This is what they want to hear from you. One table of automatic payment program with the invoice breakup. One table of automatic payment program without invoice breakup. These points is what they want to hear from you. You need to make sure while processing any automatic payment program, go back to the table, look at which table is updated with your invoice number along with the payment document number, which table is not updated with the invoice number. These points is what they want to hear, nothing beyond this. If these 2 points you are able to cover, you are able to talk, that is enough, more than enough. Nothing else to be talked. Similarly, REGUS, in case if there is any vendor account which is blocked by any automatic payment program wherein proposal is created, parameters are updated, now payment is not completed yet. For the same vendor, if you're trying to process another payment, either using manual payment or using another automatic payment program, it will not allow you to process the payment until the previous run gets completed. It will not allow you to complete until the previous payment run or until previous program gets completed, or you need to delete the program. These four tables you need to talk in a confident manner. Now these points, as I mentioned, you cannot prepare theoretically. You have to create one automatic payment program, execute one payment. Only one payment is enough, because you are trying to get the flow. You're trying to see the flow. You're trying to understand the flow. This flow you will understand only when you execute one scenario, or when you see how this is happening in the system. Only then you can practically connect. Okay, this is my invoice, this is my vendor, three invoices are there, single payment I am making. How I will be able to generate it? This is required. Tomorrow, in case if you wanted to prepare a payment advice manually, or in case if you have to send a payment file manually, you will have to pull all the information from this table only. Later on, if you are going to work on any enhancement, any customization related to payment mediums and all, you are completely dependent on this APP table. You should know which table will have what details in a confident way. You cannot be doubtful. You cannot say, I do not know. Strictly not acceptable in any interview. Okay, this is about those table. Next one, what are the tables in S4HANA system? Tell me any 10 table. Now, whenever somebody is asking these kind of questions, they're asking you to tell the table. Always remember, you tell the tables which are S4 HANA specific first. You should always talk S4 HANA specific tables first, and then don't talk all the tables from the same area. You pick different areas. When I say you pick different areas, now in S4 HANA, everybody talks about AC Doka. The moment somebody is calling, or the moment somebody is talking about S4 HANA system, everybody tells universal journal, universal accounting document, single source of truth, AC Doka, accounting document actual. Your AC Doka full form is AC represents accounting, DOC represent document, A represent actual. You need to understand AC Doka means accounting document actual table. This AC Doka should be your first table that you are going to tell, which is going to contain all the information, whatever is applicable for your accounting entry. Your accounting entry may be direct accounting entry or derived accounting entry through your integration. Maybe MM side you did something, it would have triggered an accounting entry in FI. SD side you would have done something and it might have posted one entry in FI. Similarly, you would have run payroll, there may be an accounting entry in FI. You would have done a settlement, there may be an accounting entry in FI. All the source data also will get updated in your AC Doka table. Apart from AC Doka table, you'll have to take. Now, AC Doka is covering your GL side. AC Doka is covering your GL side. Then you talk about the other table. You take customer vendor. Customer vendor, you know that this is your LFA1, LFB1, KNA1, KNB1. Now this customer vendor is also represented as business partner in S4HANA. You talk customer vendor table along with business partner BUT 000 table or BUT 0110 table. Different other tables you talk related to customer vendor along with business partner. Similarly, you talk about APP related table. APP related table you talk, and then you talk about asset accounting related table, ANLA, ANLB, all this kind of a thing. Like this, when you are picking different module, and when you are explaining, other person gets a positive opinion. Don't tell BSEC, BKPF, all this kind of thing. This everybody will tell. Even a fresher also will tell BSEC, BKPF, BSIS, BSAD, these kind of table. Don't talk those table. In the interview, you are not supposed to talk about BSEC, BKPF, these kind of a table, because you are representing S4 HANA. Please be very specific while talking about the table. When you talk these kind of a table, you do not get any cross question. But other than this, if you talk any table, it is most likely that you will get a lot of cross questions, because they feel that why this candidate is not telling me AC Doka, why this candidate is not telling me business partner table, likewise, why this candidate is not telling. It is clearly understood that this candidate is not aware. He or she would have googled, or somebody told them these are the easy table, they are telling me. This kind of opinion will get formed in the other person mind. Please avoid these kind of a thing. Make a note of it. Make a note of maybe 3 to 4 areas. GL, AC Doka, other than AC Doka, what tables are there? You have Fagel Flexa also. Or if possible, you can tell all the GL line items are recorded in S/4HANA system in Fagel Flexa table. Sorry, in your AC Docker table. Before that, we were having a new GL table called Fagel Flexa. And before that, we had a table in classic GL, GLT0 table. Like this you talk. But talk in such a way that the other person will feel comfortable. Don't tell like you are telling a table which is very, very common. Certain tables you are not supposed to tell. Certain simple questions will be asked just to see what you are answering for it. It is not that they are counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, 10 tables are completed. Your answer is correct. That is not the intention. Intention is to see which table you are talking. Intention is to see which table you are talking, not to count your 10 table. I don't mean tell me any 10 table. You can tell BSEC, BKPF and all. I am not going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, one more table. Yes, 100 out of 100. Nothing is going to happen. You have to be very particular about these questions. These are basically called as tricky questions. When we say these are tricky questions, the other person will see what is your level of understanding on the subject, how you are trying to convey me. You're understanding me. If you feel that for my question, if you give the answer, I am okay, then you're wrong. Because my question may be tricky, my question may be logical. With your answer, I'm going to understand what is your level of understanding on the subject. Okay, like this, you need to know the table. Next one, while doing FBZP configuration, what changes you have seen in S/4HANA system? There are no major changes here except one change related to account determination. Otherwise, it is one and the same. APP, whatever the way you configure an ECC, it is the same way you configure an S/4HANA system. The only change comes from the banking side. And that too, if you are using bank GL account as a cash account. We know that in S/4HANA system from 2020 onwards. In S/4HANA system from 2020 onwards, you can create bank GL account as a cash account, which is a reconciliation subledger concept, or a traditional method called a balance sheet account. If your GL account is created as a balance sheet account, there are no changes in your FBZP configuration in S/4HANA system. In case if you are creating your bank GL account as a cash account, there is a change at the GL account determination for your bank account, which is nothing but your bank account will not be maintained under bank account. Instead, you have bank account enhanced option. You will be maintaining a bank account enhanced option. Based on this bank account enhanced option, you are going to maintain the GL account. Why you are going to maintain GL account at the enhanced level? As per cash account, as per the cash account concept, for all the bank account, there will be a single or common outgoing account. As per the cash accounting logic, for all your bank accounts, you can use single or common outgoing GL account. This will be maintained. And along with this, your BRS is also has an impact, wherein there is something called SIP or self-initiated payment. Based on the SIP, based on the self-initiated payment, when you maintain the GL account at payment method level, system will automatically trigger it. Meaning the moment you put the house bank, company code, payment method and all, system is automatically detecting the bank GL account based on the self-initiated payment or payment method mapping. This one point is what you'll have to tell, which is specifically related to bank account determination. The same question they might ask you in the other way around, how bank account is determined for your APP. They might ask how bank account is determined at APP level, or what is the account determination setting for bank GL account. It is one and the same. FBZP bank account in ECC, how it was working, in S/4HANA system, how it was working. Please make sure you are able to explain, if possible, with an example. These are all the points will be convincing enough or will create a positive opinion impact only when you quote an example. If you're randomly telling this is what is there, the other person may not be getting convinced. Remember, you try to put an example, simple example. This example is only to see that yes, you know the subject, you are giving an effort to explain me. I'm only going to look at whether you are putting any effort to convince me or not, or you're just like reading whatever you read, whatever you prepared. That shows what is your level of understanding, to what extent you have prepared on the subject. If you have not prepared thoroughly, if you have not practiced thoroughly, you will end up talking the content, you will end up talking T code definition and all, which the other person may feel unsatisfactory. Instead, you try to take an example. You try to take an example, try to explain. Your example may be incorrect, your explanation may be incorrect, but your effort is what they're going to look at. They're more concerned about the effort that you're putting in, the way that you're trying to convince, the way that you're trying to convey your understanding to me. That is what somebody is going to look at from you when you're talking. Don't think that your answer should be correct, though you're incorrect, but your confidence, your effort will be recognized there. Okay. Next one, did you work on foreign currency revaluation? Okay, this is something which is again important. Whenever you're talking about foreign currency valuation, this is a month-end activity. What will happen on this foreign currency revaluation? All the transactions, whatever is posted on the foreign currency. First thing you need to understand, foreign currency means other than local currency, other than company code currency. If you're talking about Indian company code, other than INR, everything is foreign currency. If you're talking about US company code, other than US dollar, everything is foreign currency. Now, this foreign currency valuation, when you're performing it in SAP, you may have to perform this foreign currency valuation based on the different accounting standards, based on the different accounting reporting requirement purpose. Maybe based on IFRS, you may have to perform the foreign currency revaluation, or based on any other accounting standard, you may have to perform it. Either of the case, it is the same logic, same functionality. Now here, nobody is concerned about your config. Especially when somebody is asking about these functionalities, nobody is concerned about your configuration. Everybody is looking at what is your understanding on this particular area. Meaning, I am going to check, I am going to verify whether you know what exactly foreign currency revaluation means or not. What will happen in foreign currency revaluation? First of all, why you do the foreign currency revaluation? Is it applicable for all the account? Is it applicable for a selected account? Is something that you need to represent while talking. Don't straight away go to foreign currency valuation is used for XYZ purpose. These are the configuration for it. You will not be shortlisted. Instead, tell why foreign currency revaluation is used, what kind of a GL account these are used, what exactly foreign currency according to you. Try to explain in a simple word. Foreign currency means other than local currency, other than company code currency. Then you take an example. For example, if a client is operating in India, don't take any names of any client. Do not take any name of any client. Do not quote any names in your interviews. Tell that, for example, if a client is operating in India, if you try to put a name of a particular client, they may get into different other questions because of your name. Because you're telling ABC client is using this one, they may talk why ABC client is using this. Your question or your interview topic will be deviated from foreign currency revaluation to something else. Because you are telling some names, your interviewer is attracted with those names, he is asking some other question. Meaning you are making your interview, your questionnaire complicated by adding unnecessary point. Tell if a client is working in India, or if a client is operating in India, according to India, the client will have to perform all their local reporting in India. INR will become their official currency or local currency. Now, the client may be doing business with various other customers or vendor, in short, various other business partners who may be out of India. When the client is doing business with various other business partners who are out of India, any payable, any receivable may be from foreign currency. Foreign currency means, as per your example, other than INR. Now here, most likely any project or any organization will be performing foreign currency revaluation exclusively for the payables and receivable, meaning current assets, current liability. This is applicable for current asset, current liability, wherever a GL account is a subject for receipt or a subject for payment. In short, I booked a vendor invoice today. I have not paid yet. Tomorrow I have to pay. While paying, there may be a variation. Why there may be a variation? Because whenever you are recording any transaction in foreign currency, by default there are two currencies. Whenever you are recording any transaction in foreign currency, by default there are two currencies. One is foreign currency, Another one is your local currency. Local currency is fixed. Foreign currency may be flexible, because if you are doing a business with US, your foreign currency may be dollar. If you're doing business with Singapore, your foreign currency may be Singapore dollar. If you're doing business with Europe, your foreign currency may be euro. Likewise, it is not fixed. It is dependent on different factors. What is fixed? Your local currency is fixed. When we say your local currency is fixed, how system is going to perform the foreign currency revaluation? Now, in this foreign currency revaluation, there are two types. One is your realized revaluation, another one is unrealized revaluation. Now, when you're talking about realized revaluation, there is no specific activity to be performed for the realized revaluation, because at the actual transaction level, system is automatically going to perform the revaluation at the transaction level. Meaning, when you're actually making any payment, when you're actually doing any clearing, when you're actually performing any settlement, at that transaction level, system is automatically going to perform the currency revaluation. Because of this currency revaluation, if there is any exchange rate differences, it will be automatically accounted in realized exchange rate loss account or a realized exchange rate gain account, which are maintained in OB09 transaction code or OBA1 transaction code, wherein you have to put realized, unrealized, exchange rate loss gain GL account. From there, it is taking into picture, which does not require any month end activity because it is our original impact. On the other side, at the end of every month, your client will have to close the financial. At the end of every month, your client will have to close their financial. When your client is closing the financial at the end of every month, they need to make sure correct financial position, correct financial picture is represented. This is mandatory as per any accounting standard. You cannot hide anything. You cannot manipulate anything. If you have any foreign currency liabilities, if you have any foreign currency asset which are subjected to receipt, which are subjected to payment, you have to assume. You need to assume, in case if I would have paid all my foreign currency liabilities in this month itself, what would be my currency impact? Or in case if I would have received all my receivables in this month itself, what would be my currency impact? Here you are talking about based on an assumption. Based on an assumption, if all the foreign currency receipts are made in this month, all the foreign currency payments are made within this month, what would be the impact in your currency? Whether you are getting exchange rate loss or you are getting exchange rate gain. To see this, you have to perform foreign currency revaluation on a monthly basis. Some clients will do it on a monthly basis, some will do it on a quarterly basis, but it is mandatory to be done at the year end at least. Some clients, they don't do it on a monthly basis. They say we don't want to do it, we will do it at the end of year end. It depends. Some clients, they say that no, we don't want to run on a monthly basis, we will do it on a quarterly basis, or we will do it on a half yearly basis, but you have to perform it at the end of the year end at any cost. No exception for year end, but monthly some clients may not be doing it. But whenever you are performing the foreign currency valuation, you have to understand not every GL account is valuated. Not every GL account is valuated. There are again certain conditions which you need to remember. Point number one, your GL account must be open item. Your GL account must be open item. This is the first condition. When you're talking about GL account must be open item, there are so many GL accounts. For example, you have GRIR account. GRIR account can also have foreign currency transaction in case if you're purchasing from any foreign vendor. You're purchasing from a foreign vendor, what the accounting entry will be? Your inventory account or XYZ account debit, GRIR account credit. Now in my GRIR account, there is a credit sitting. Now, do we reevaluate GRIR account? People will start questioning from this angle. When somebody is asking about foreign currency valuation, do not think that they will be only focused on foreign currency valuation configuration. It is not. They are going to focus on your understanding on that concept, your understanding on that business process functionality. For example, you are performing foreign currency revaluation. I'm more than happy. And then you told me full configuration, I'm double happy. Now I just want to put a simple question. If I perform the foreign currency valuation, let's say my GRIR account is an open item management, will it be part of my foreign currency valuation? according to you, foreign currency valuation is applicable for open item management. According to you, foreign currency valuation is applicable for open item management. Now, GRIR account is an open item management. Yes, GRIR account will be valuated. Your answer is wrong because GRIR account we don't value it in foreign currency. First of all, can we maintain GRIR clearing account in foreign currency? Is that allowed? Can we create GRIR account in foreign currency?
No, it only has to
No.
be in local currencies.
Right? GRIR clearing account will have to be only in local currency. Now, they might go to different other questions or there may be a specific question. Can we create or can we do the transactions in foreign currency for GRIR account? You may say that yes, any account can be posted in any currency. Not in every situation. Situations will trigger certain things to be treated in a different way whenever somebody is asking a question specifically like this. Can you post foreign currency transaction in GRIR account? Do not blindly tell yes or no. Think twice before you answer. Because these are all the questions look very simple, but they are tricky there. And your answer yes is not considered. Your answer no is not considered unless and until you give the justification. When we say unless and until you give the justification, they want to hear from you why you are telling me yes. They want to hear from you why you are telling no. Without any justification, yes, no is not considered in any interview for any question. Straightforward yes, straightforward no, nobody will consider it unless and until you add a justification to it. You are telling yes because of some reason, because of some of your understanding. What is your reason? What is your understanding? What is your justification? You need to explain. Only then your yes is taken into account. Only then your no is taken into account. Here again, you need not be correct. Here again, you don't have to be correct. Your effort is recognized. You're trying to talk, you're trying to convince, you're trying to explain confidently. That is going to give you the positive feedback. Not the answer whether your answer is correct or not correct. Nobody is concerned about it. Today you may not be aware of the subject, but tomorrow you will know the subject. But the way you're talking, the confidence that you're holding, the effort that you're putting to convince me is something that they want from you. And if you can project it, if you can talk in that way, you will definitely get selected, even though your answers are partially correct. Even though your answers are partially correct, because of the way you're talking, because of the confidence that you're showing, because of the effort that you're putting to convince me, is what people will recognize. Not that whether your answer is how much accurate on a scale of 1 to 10, I will give you 8 marks, 7 mark is not going to happen. Don't think from that perspective. Okay. Now you should also understand accounting entries here. What will be the accounting entry which will be recorded when you perform the foreign currency valuation? You need to tell in case of a currency loss, in case of a currency gain, what will be the accounting entry? You don't have to by heart. When I say you do not have to by heart the accounting entry, most of the times we will be by hearting, we will be mugging up the accounting entry, which will make you forget the entry right in front of the interviewer. After the interview, everything will strike your mind, crystal clear. But at that moment, you will forget the accounting entry because you are by hearting it. Don't by heart. Now, your foreign currency revaluation will attract currency exchange loss, currency exchange gain by way of unrealized, meaning this is your unrealized exchange loss, unrealized exchange gain. Now loss and gain. Now you try to add your accounting skill set here. Tell that all the losses are debited as per nominal account. So we will be debiting exchange rate loss account. Unrealized exchange rate loss account will be debited. Now the account on which you are performing the revaluation will get credited. That's it. Okay. On the other side, in case if you are making any gain, in case if you are making any gain, you tell you upfront, you can tell as per nominal account, we will be crediting all the incomes and gain. Since unrealized exchange gain is a gain, we will be crediting unrealized exchange gain account. The gain on which account it is calculated will be taken into the debit side. Simple. Now what they will see when you're telling accounting entries and all in this way, they feel that yes, this candidate is aware of the subject. He knows how entries are being passed. He is not mugging up. He is explaining from his understanding. He has got thorough understanding on the subject. He has got thorough understanding on the accounting, and that is what they will be looking at from you. When you're not aware of what exactly you are looked at, on what basis your decision will be taken, either to pick or not to pick. These are all the points that will be taken into consideration. If you project these points while talking in your interview, you will definitely see positive feedback. No matter whether your answers are right, not correct, but your effort is recognized. Nobody can remember everything and nobody can talk within that 30 minutes randomly A to Z, Z to A. Not possible. It is quite common you forget certain things. It is quite common you get confused yourself. It is quite common anything can happen in that interview, but your effort, you cannot do anything there. Your effort is your effort only. Whether you know, you do not know, your effort is correct. Right? These points you'll have to understand from here. Then they might also ask, when you're talking about open item, what about non-open item? Can I perform the foreign currency revaluation for my non-open item? Can I perform the foreign currency revaluation for cash? No, you cannot do it. Why? Can I perform foreign currency revaluation for bank? Yes, you can do it. Can I perform for all the bank accounts? No, only for the bank sub account, only for the incoming account, only for the outgoing account. You cannot perform the foreign currency valuation for bank main account. Why? Because as per the banking, according to SAP, we all will create bank GL account based on a logic called main account sub account. All the bank main accounts are non-open items. All the bank sub accounts are open item. Now, all these points you will have to bring while you're talking, while you're explaining. It is not only related to foreign currency revaluation you will talk. You have to explain all the other connecting dots. Only then other person feels that yes, you have worked on foreign currency valuation or you know what is foreign currency valuation. Else, it will clearly represent this candidate had prepared on foreign currency valuation and then talking. Those who prepare, those who talk, only then these kind of answers will come. But when you're talking about from a practical approach point of view, you will connect different other points, because without connecting the different point, you cannot talk. If you really work, you cannot talk. And they might be asking, did you face any kind of errors? Did you face any kind of issues in your foreign currency revaluation? Then you may also have to tell. If you tell you worked on foreign currency valuation, you know foreign currency valuation. In case if I put what kind of queries, what kind of tickets, what kind of errors, challenges you faced in foreign currency valuation. Have one or two incident, one or two errors along with the solution. Don't tell no issue has been raised. Right? You need to make a note of all these points. Bits and pieces, if you're able to make a note of point and if you're able to think through it and you're able to talk about these points in your interview, definitely there will be more than what they're expecting from you, meaning they'll be more than happy. Whoever is taking your interview, they will be more than happy, no doubt about it. Okay. Now, next one is your apart from this is related to foreign currency valuation. Okay. So this is nothing but other than foreign currency revaluation, what are the month-end activities you have done? If you remember in one of the sessions, we have made a list of all the month-end activities. Now you should not talk about the standard month-end activities, basic month-end activities, because if you're talking about the basic month-end activities, the moment you tell 2-3 month-end activities, they understand that you do not know anything, they'll go to the next question. They will not wait until you show the climax scene where it is very interesting and all. Nobody will wait until that time. You put all your climax scenes at the beginning only. Put all the interesting scene, all the interesting topics, points at the beginning only. Later on, you talk anything. When you put interesting points, more value added points at the beginning, they get a positive opinion. Like don't talk about opening of a period, closing of a period, maintaining exchange rate, number range or XYZ things. Don't talk about it. Other than that, what you did, right? Now here, you need to understand month-end activities in a sequential order. As we already discussed, there is a sequencing for every month-end activity. You cannot tell in a random way. You have to talk about foreign currency valuation. Question is clearly representing other than foreign currency valuation, what else you did? You can talk about depreciation. You can talk about AUC settlement. You can talk about assessment cycle, distribution cycle. You can talk about clearing of all the vendor open items, clearing of all customer open item, or performing a GRIR clearing account. These kind of things you'll have to talk, but whatever the month-end activity that you're talking, please make sure you are aware of the business impact with that. Not the heading, not the definition, not the T code. Understand the business impact for it. For example, you're talking about GRIR clearing. They might simply put a question, what do you mean by GRIR clearing? What will happen in GRIR clearing? What was your role there? This is an end user activity. What you did in GRIR clearing? Then don't go blank all of a sudden. You have to explain what is GRIR account, what will happen there. Who is it? Please go on mute. Irfan. Okay, you need to explain what is GRIR clearing, how this GRIR clearing functionality works. If you are not able to talk, if you are not able to explain, this again going to create a confusion. Meaning, confusion not to you, your interviewer will get confused. Why he is talking all these things? When my question is very simple, why he is getting confused and why he is giving me confused state. Okay. Likewise, GRIR clearing you talk, depreciation you talk, AUC settlement you talk, assessment you talk, distribution you talk, other settlements you talk. Like this, when you're talking, later on, towards the end, you can add additional small point. Maintaining exchange rate, opening and closing of the period, adding any validations or any kind of thing, clearing all the pending clearing all pending billings, meaning delivery is posted, billing is not done, or billing document is posted, accounting entry not created. Tax things are, you have to verify the tax posting, whether all the tax postings are properly aligned or not. All these kind of things you need to talk. Only then the other person feels, yes, this candidate is talking about the points which are practically used, which are practically followed in a project. Other than this, whatever you talk, the basic fundamental point, though your answers are correct, though you're so confident, though you're on dot crystal clear, still the other person is not convinced, because according to them, these are all the basic point. According to them, these are all the basic point. If you're talking the basic point, usually nobody will be convinced. You have to be clear on this, and you have to be smart at this level. What points you know? If you know only 5 points, nobody will listen to you until you tell 5 points. Everybody will listen to you maybe initial 2-3 points. You tell the important ones at the beginning, small easy ones at the late. Don't start from the easy ones at the beginning. If you're starting from the easy ones at the beginning, they feel that you know only this. They don't think that you are going in the ascending order, easy, medium, high, or high, medium, easy. Nobody will think that. Whatever you talk at the first instance, that holds the importance. And you have to be smart here. You have to be spontaneously responding to all the questions. Everybody understands immediately responding to the question is practically not possible unless you are expert. Unless you are expert, it is not practically possible to respond to the question on the spot, on dot. Either you are expert on the subject or you read by hearted in such a way that even from the sleep you will talk. Otherwise, a normal person, whoever is preparing SAP, nobody will answer everything correctly. Everything here and there, confusion, incorrect answers, some correct, some incorrect. It has to be mixed. If you tell everything correct at this experience level, how is it possible? That also leads to unnecessary doubt, unnecessary confusion. Don't do it. Be yourself, whatever you know, only that you talk. If you're not aware of it, it's okay, accept it. You don't need to answer every question. Even if you're able to answer half of the questions properly, you will get selected. It is only to see your subject knowledge, your understanding, your confidence, how you are trying to convince. Whether you are able to get my questions properly or not. Nobody is concerned about your answer. Because you are not becoming a solution architect tomorrow to select you based on your solution. You are going to become a consultant wherein I am going to look at whether you are able to understand the requirement or not. Forget about the solution. First get the point, get the question, get the situation. Try to act, try to give your inputs according to your level of understanding, your level of knowledge. That is very simple. Okay, this is about your month-end activities. Why you have to manage open and close period. Normally, whenever somebody is asking about open and close period, this is basically end user activity. As a consultant, you're not going to touch open close period unless there is any problem. Unless there is any problem, you're not going to touch open and close period. This is strictly opened, closed by the end user. You have nothing to do here. This is the end user activity. This question has come means this person would have talked about open close periods as month end activity at the beginning flow itself. Is that correct?
Not beginning, sir. At the end, I have mentioned.
Okay. How many month end activities you mentioned?
Sir, I explained, sir. The depreciation run now. GRIR clearing, assessment cycle, distribution cycles.
Hmm. Okay.
So you were still waiting for the answer, so I mentioned the seventh one, I think.
You were elaborating month end activity or you're reading through the month end activity?
No, I said actually the point wise only. The GRIR clearing. I have not elaborated by list
You
wise.
have to elaborate it.
Okay.
Because when you're talking about GRIR account, see,
Okay.
even when you ask me in the interview, what are the month end activities? If I tell depreciation, this, that, and all, I am reading the checklist. But anybody can read, right? Those who prepare, those who read, even on the Google, anybody can tell the list.
One actually he has asked about the what are the parameters we required in depreciation run. Only one in one.
Right. So you have to avoid those questions wherever possible by explaining from our side. Meaning you're talking about depreciation. You tell that we have to, depreciation is one of the month end activity to record the depreciation, and this will capture all the assets, whatever is posted, and wherever depreciation key is assigned, which contains the calculation method either as a percentage basis or as on useful life basis. It will calculate the depreciation. Post the accounting entry. Accounting entry will be depreciation account debit, accumulated depreciation account credit, something like that you need to tell. Then they say that it's okay. Because the way you're talking will give them an impression what is your level of understanding. Then they will tell it's okay. When you tell the next two, three, stay, they'll not spend much time on the month end activities, they'll go to next area. Because they will have limited time to spend on each topic. As I mentioned, if I am the panel member, if I am the one who's taking the interview, I will have a sheet. I'll have a sheet which I need to fill up. In my sheet, I have all the areas GL, AP, AR, asset, cash, bank, BRS, month end, implementation, cutover, CO, and all. I need to update the comment everywhere. GL accounting, what is your knowledge? AP, what is your knowledge? AR, what is your knowledge? Month end activities, what is your knowledge? I'm not going to ask only on month end activities. I need to put questions from different areas and then I need to put a feedback. I'm going to look at how you're talking. Accordingly, I'll get to know, okay, this candidate is good at month end activities. I'll go to the next topic. Likewise, each month end activity, even though if you know only 5, 6, please make sure how these are executed by the user, what will be the impact. Where there is an accounting impact with a month end activity, or where there is no accounting impact with the month end activity, we need to understand. If you open close the period, there is no financial impact. No accounting entry will get
Okay, sir.
recorded to this.
But we have listed the open close periods in the month end activities in the Excel. So what is the purpose then, sir?
Any month end activity is performed by the end user. While executing this month end activities, any issues, any problems, any errors that they face, as a consultant, you are going to provide the solution. No month end activity is performed by the end user by the consultant, as month end activities are end user activities. As a consultant, you are going to provide month end checklist. And maybe if you are working in a support project, usually what every support project manager will do. For example, today is, let's say, 27th. Let's assume that today is 27th and your client will have to close the month on 3rd or 4th of the month. Now, from the project point of view, as a project manager or as a project lead, you have to make sure a common email is sent out to your client, whoever is stakeholder from there. As month end is approaching, please make sure the below checklist is done. Let's say all open invoices are posted, all these kind of things are posted. For any assistance, for any help, please let us know. So that you are giving an alert that what users will have to do. Otherwise, what users will do, they will do it on the last day of the month. Meaning, today I need to close the financial. If I am trying to face a problem, if I am trying to do something today, If I am facing a problem, if I raise a ticket, if I reach out to you for a solution, if you are unable to provide me the solution immediately, this is going to create a problem or not on my month end closing,
Yes, sir.
right? So from your side, what you need to do, if you're talking about you are part of month end activities, you are representing, you are part of one of the support project,
Yes, sir. Correct.
right? Now this month end is not going to happen on a single day. It's a preparatory stage, meaning if I'm reaching 29th, okay, if I'm reaching 29th, I need to make sure this month is containing only 30 days. Now after 30th, I cannot do backdated transactions, certain thing, I cannot post backdated bank entries, agree?
Yes, sir.
Right, whatever the entry that I do on 1st of August, I cannot book it on 30th of July. Can I do it?
No, sir.
If I purchase something on 1st, 2nd of August, can I book that invoice on 31st of July? If I purchase something on 2nd of August, can I book that invoice on 31st June, July?
No.
No, we are
No,
required
no,
to.
no.
Right? You cannot do it. Meaning when you're talking about month-end activity, it happens on a flow. Certain activities will have to be closed on priority, though you cannot hold certain interests. For example, sales are there. You are performing the sale. You cannot sell to a customer on 2nd of August and you cannot book that sale on 31st of August, 31st of July. Agree? But
Correct, sir.
some clients they do it because to show some profits and all. Normally, sale would have already happened, or customer would have already agreed to pay the money, and then the agreement and all happened. Now you may record it to show the proper financial, to show a good financial figure. You may perform, book that entry in this month end only, because on 2nd your customer had come. You can create the order, you can create everything on backdated. Possible, you can say that we've already sold it to the customer, but data entry was pending. This bill is related to 31st July. Since it was a month end, we had to hand over the product to the customer. Data entry we did later on. We told the customer invoice we will send you over the email. Likewise, different points will be there. When it comes to BRS, you need to make sure bank reconciliation is performed on time. So what you will do on BRS, you will do nothing. But if you are not pushing your user, if you're not pushing your client from your side as a checklist, and your user may forget to do it, and at the last minute when they are reaching out to you, seeking assistance, seeking solution for the different error, you may not be able to provide immediately, right? Not every error will have written solution. Not every error will have the oral solution. Many errors may require configuration changes. Yes, no.
Yes, sir.
You may have to make certain configuration. You may have to do certain TR movement. Now, all these things you need to make sure, and you may not be moving any new TRs to the production system during the month end because your configuration change may create another problem.
Yes,
So
sir.
what you have done at the month end, you'll have to talk different points, not only the checklist, whatever we find. Even if you're talking about the checklist, try to pick the point which has the accounting impact. Try to pick the point which has the accounting impact and what are the prerequisites for it, how you need to do it. You need to make sure GRIR clearing is completed. Before you perform the GRIR clearing, you need to make sure all the entries related to that particular month, entries are related to your purchase order. All the purchase order invoices, whatever you received in the same month will be accounted in the within the month. Meaning in July, whatever the goods that you have received, if you received the invoice against that material from your supplier, you need to make sure within the month you need to book it. I cannot take it to the next month, right? Agree?
Yes, sir.
Right? These points when you're talking, the other person will feel the reality, will feel the practicality. Yes, this candidate is aware of what exactly happens in a project. The way
So when
we
it
talk
comes to
about
special
this
posting periods,
sequence,
during the financial year ending only we will use them, sir. Special
no,
posting
at
periods.
special posting period is only during the financial year end. Yes,
Is there any corrections related to the audit related purpose?
correct. Special posting period is strictly at the year end, not at the month end.
Okay, in between we won't use.
No, no. You have to strictly post on period number 12 by changing the 12 to 13, 14, 15, 16. You cannot change period number 7 to 13. You can only change 12 to 13, 14, 15, 16. Meaning to do it, you have to be on the period number 12.
Yes, no, no. He asked about this actually special posting period, so I said during the year ending only we will use. I said.
Correct. Only during the year end, that too on the last day of the month. Meaning, whenever you record any entry in this special posting period, you need to tell your user to put the date strictly as 31st December or 31st March. Though system allows you to put any date on the month, but it is recommended strictly to put the month and the date, and then change the period
Fine.
from 12 to 13, 13 to 14. And again, you have to enable an option. If you are using certain enjoy transaction or a single transaction, you need to enable one setting from the editing option. Only then user can change the period. Otherwise, it will show 12 period. It will not be changed to 13, or it will not allow you to amend.
Okay, fine, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's move on. Next one is related to, did you work on O2C cycle? What is the end-to-end cycle? O2C cycle is nothing but your order to cash. It is nothing but your FIST integration. In short, your sales cycle. You need to specifically talk about FIST integration starting from sales order until bank reconciliation. And first thing you need to talk about how sales will happen. You will have sales order. Based on the sales order, you will do the delivery. Based on the delivery, you will create PGI, post goods issue. Based on the post goods issue, you will perform billing. Based on the billing, you will collect the money from customer, and whatever the money you collect from the customer, you will reconcile it. Your reconciliation may be either cash reconciliation or bank reconciliation, depending on the mode of payment that your customer is using. Your customer can pay by cash. Your customer can also pay by bank. If it is cash payment, cash reconciliation is a daily reco. If it is through bank, bank reconciliation is also daily reco, but it has to be completed on a month end basis. You need to know the flow first. Sales order, delivery, PGI, billing, and then your payment, BRS. These points you'll have to talk. You should not waste time here. Whenever these questions are asked, FIMM integration, FIST integration, you should go in a flow without taking any time in between, without thinking at that moment. You should go in a flow. So FIST integration, you will have customer sales based on the sales order. Once the customer places the order, sales order will be created. Based on the sales order, we will create a delivery document. Based on the delivery document, stock movement will happen, meaning PGI will be recorded. Post PGI or after PGI, we will create the billing. We will issue the invoice to the customer. Based on the customer invoice, based on the terms of payment, customer will release the payment or customer will make the payment either using a cash or using bank. If it is a cash payment, we will perform the cash reconciliation. If it is a bank payment, we will perform the bank reconciliation. You'll have to talk in such a way that other person feels connected to what you're telling. Don't routinely talk whatever you find on the Google or whatever everybody is talking. Try to explain in such a way that the other person feels, yes, this candidate knows the subject. The other person will not recognize you until what you talk. The way that you're talking, points that you're quoting, flow that you're using, examples that you're taking will give a positive opinion. After that, what they were asking, they're asking you to tell accounting entries for OTC cycle top to bottom. In short, you'll have to tell in this sequential order. First one is what your sales order. Order is a legal document or is an agreement between buyer and seller. Based on the sales order, SD integration will happen, but sales order will not have any accounting impact. Based on the sales order, your integration will happen, but sales order will not have any financial, any monetary impact. So sales order will not have any accounting entry. Similarly, based on the sales order, next entry will be delivery. When you're creating a delivery, you're creating a delivery document. This delivery document is again a document which is issued to the storekeeper to issue the stock. Now this delivery document will only contain the delivery address of the customer, which item to be delivered, what quantity to be delivered. Based on this delivery order, based on this delivery slip, Your store in charge or the storekeeper at the plant and all, they will issue the stock. They refer the delivery order or the delivery note. Based on the delivery note, based on the delivery order copy, the store in charge or storekeeper will issue the stock. They say that, okay, XYZ material 1, 2, 3 quantity, he will issue the stock. Now, when you are issuing the stock, then there is an accounting entry because stock is an asset. You are issuing the stock, stock is an asset. Majoritarily, whenever you make any sale, there are only two possibilities. One is a material sale, another one is a services sale. If you are doing any material sale, material is nothing but stock. When you're doing any material sale, material is nothing but a stock. When you're making a sale, your stock is going out. You'll have to post stock out entry. When you're posting the stock out entry, you need to make sure stock is going out. Stock is a balance sheet account. According to accounting entries, go to real account, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Stock is going out. Put stock on the credit side. Whenever you sell to any customer, if you are selling it something, you call it as a finished product. You are selling something, it is represented as a finished product. Your accounting entry will be inventory finished credit or finished material account credit. Now, when you are selling a product, this product will have a value. It is nothing but cost price. It is nothing but cost price. Your product cost, whatever you are selling, will be credited because you are stocking out or you are taking the material out from your inventory list. That is why you are putting a credit to the inventory, and this you are going to charge to your P&L for the purpose of profit loss calculation. Whenever you are talking about sale will have to have a result called profit or a loss. In order to calculate profit, in order to calculate the loss, you need COGS. You need COGS. Cost of the material is nothing but COGS. Cost of your material is nothing but COGS. What I'll do, same finished product value, I am going to debit as a COGS because I am expensing out my material. Because I am charging my inventory to the P&L for the profit calculation, I am removing it from my asset list. That is why my stock is being credited. Your accounting entry will be COGS account debit, inventory account credit. When you're talking about inventory account, you have to be very specific. What kind of inventory it is, whether it is a trading goods or it is a spare part, it is a packing material, it is a finished product. Accordingly, you'll have to put. Then you'll have to tell accounting entry is COGS account debit, inventory account credit. Then they will ask from where this accounting entry is coming. Immediate question will be from where the accounting entry is coming. Don't wait until they put this question. You tell from your side. When you're adding all these points from your side, you will reduce maximum counter questions, maximum cross question. Cross questions will come only because you're not telling what they want to hear. Keep in your mind, cross questions will come when you're explaining things in such a way how they want to hear, what they want to hear. Right? If you're explaining things in such a way that whatever they want to hear, you're telling on your own, then they're more than happy. They don't put any cross question. It will be very simple. Very easy interview. You tell that this accounting entry will come COGS account debit, inventory account credit. This inventory account is coming from the FIMM integration. This is COGS account is also coming from FIMM integration because these two accounts are getting determined from OBYC configuration, which is part of FIMM integration. Then you mention anything related to inventory, anything related to material will be coming from MM integration. Tell we will be generating or we will be triggering your COGS GL account from OBYC GBB. Tell OBYC GBB, and if your cost element is if your COGS is a cost element, VAX, if your COGS is a non-cost element, VAY. Similarly, inventory account is being credited based on the valuation class. I am going to put BSX. In the BSX, based on the valuation class, I am going to put inventory account. Same GL account, wherever inventory is being debited, the same GL account will be credited so that you can see the net inventory value in the balance sheet. It is not that debit inventory one GL account, credit inventory another GL account. It is not. Whether your stock is coming in or your stock is going out, it will be the same inventory account. And when you tell this, it is fine. Then you also need to tell what is the movement type triggered here. Whenever you're talking about any stock out, what is the movement type for inventory out for sale to customer?
601, sir.
This is your 601. You mention movement type also here. If you are missing it, you will get this cross question only to ask which movement type will be used here. Whatever you miss, the same question will come as a counter question. Meaning when they are asking these basic points as a counter question, assuming that they feel that you are not explaining in a proper way. Because they want to hear transaction code, you are covering it, okay. They want to know how the GL account is coming, you are covering it. They also want to know which movement type is used, you are covering it. They're more than happy. They don't even wait until you go to the next step. They tell, okay, fine, they put next question. Because they got to know what you're talking is right. You're talking in a flow, the way that I want to hear you're talking. I'm happy. But you're talking everything, theory, everything, but I want to hear only 3-4 points from your integration. I don't want you to give me a lecture on it. If you are able to cover these 3-4 points in the given 2 to 3 minutes, I am fine. If you are missing these 3-4 points that I want to hear and you are telling something else, I will stop you in between. I'll put question. I am asking different cross questions, different counter questions just to hear 601 movement type. This is part of FIMM integration. This is coming from OBYC, GBB, BSX, VAX, VAY, cost element, non-cost element. Just to hear these points, I am putting a cross question. If you are telling on your own these points, there is no point, there is no need for me to put a cross question. My task is very easy to judge your knowledge. Because you are missing all the key points, I had to tell, I had to put cross questions. You are getting cross questions a lot in the interview because of what you are talking is not correct. Because what you are talking is not containing the key information, key data. That is the reason you or anybody else will get the cross question. Even if I take an interview to anybody, if somebody is telling the same points, like whatever we want to hear, nobody will put cross question. I also don't put any cross question. Simply will say that candidate is okay. I am nobody to judge your knowledge, right? Whatever is required from that particular topic, if you are explaining those points in a proper way, confidently, you're trying to convince me, I am convinced. Anybody will be convinced. Nobody is your rival there. To say, no, 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 I am not okay, you tell something else. Nobody is like that. If your subject is correct, you're confident enough while talking, while explaining, anybody is okay. Okay, after this is COGS, then you'll have to go to the billing document. In the billing document, you need to tell whenever you do the billing, you'll have to keep one point here. There are two types of billing. One is order related billing, another one is delivery related billing. Anybody knows this? Billing is made in two ways. One is order related billing, another one is delivery related billing. Anybody is aware?
No, sir.
So it might be order related billing is when we purchase, when we make an order, then we have to make extra payment or advance payment. And delivery means it is on like just like we have a cash on delivery payment.
No. Because you cannot perform the sale without a sale. Agree?
Yes.
But I think when we
So
are selling like services, then at that moment we will at that moment it will be like order based billing. That's it. And when the we are selling any product at that moment, it will be on the basis of delivery based payment.
correct.
That's it.
Correct. Here, when you're talking about the first point that we were talking about it, when you're talking about sale, it is only possible to make two types of sale. One is your material sale, another one is a service sale. When I'm talking about a material sale, without giving the material, can I give an invoice to you? I don't give you the material product, I'll give you the bill. You're okay?
No.
Hmm?
No, no.
I
No.
don't give you the material, but I'll give you the bill. I'll raise the invoice. Okay or not okay?
Not okay.
Not
Not
okay.
okay.
For example, I have ordered 3 quantity, but I will give you 5 quantity. I'll raise the bill only for 3 quantity. Is it okay?
No.
You place the order for 5 quantity. I'll give you 5 quantity, but I will give you the invoice bill only for 3 quantity. Okay or not okay?
Not okay.
Not
Not
okay.
okay. Right? These are things to be controlled or not to be controlled. These are things to be taken into account or not.
It has to be controlled.
Alright, so whatever you delivered, only to that extent you have to bill it. You have not delivered any product, you're not supposed to bill it. So what you will do for any material sale, for any product sale, your billing is based on the delivery. Your billing is based on what? Delivery. Against the sales order, if you delivered the product, only then you have to create the invoice. You should allow your system to create the invoice document for the quantity whatever is already delivered. Nothing is delivered, how can you do the billing? You should not do it. So that's where you need to talk. In case if it is a product sale, in case if it is a material sale, we will be performing delivery based invoice. Accounting entry will remain the same, but this point when you add, you will feel the difference. The other person will be feeling comfortable, convinced that yes, this candidate is talking the valid point. On the other side, when you're delivering and when you're making any service sale, right? Not everything is a product, right? Certain things you are selling to the customer, which is a service item. When you're making any service, service cannot be delivered. You cannot see that the product is out from your inventory. In that case, for all the services, you will usually go based on the order based billing. So whenever you create any billing document, you will see billing is either based on the sales order, billing is based on the delivery document. Now these points you'll have to tell. Accounting entry will remain the same. Customer account debit, sales account credit. Customer account is coming from the sales order. Sales account is coming from the VKOA setting. When you're talking about sales account is coming from VKOA setting, you need to understand on what basis sales GL account is determined. There are 5 standard tables. In VKOA, there are 5 standard table: customer account group, material account group, account key, chart of account, sales organization. These key combination you need to understand, and they'll put another question, which combination you have used. If you are not mentioning, from your side, sales GL account is coming from VKOA and you are keeping quiet, then immediate question will come, on what basis you have maintained sales GL account. They want you to tell, I have maintained a sales GL account at condition record level, at sales organization level, chart of account level, account key level, account assignment group for customer level, account assignment group for the material level. Whatever you have used, you will have to tell it. Now which sequence you have used, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which table will be updated with your FIST integration? VKOA is the T code, C001, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the table. When you talk to this point, then only the other person feels comfortable. Yes, this candidate is aware of the sales or OTC process along with the accounting entries in a convincing way. See, it's easy to tell all the flow in such a way that the other person will tell, okay, this is correct. But the other person is convinced or not with what you're talking. That is the main important point here. For that, you'll have to tell a different point. An important point here in your OTC cycle. Most of the people will ignore this important point in the OTC cycle, that is your profit. It is a minimum fundamental point that every account student, every FICO consultant to know. Whenever you are making any sale, you are expecting a profit. Am I correct? Agree? Whenever you are making any sale, profit is calculated.
Yes.
How many of us will talk about profit when somebody is asking you FIST integration? Very few, or everybody will talk about profit. In your interview, when somebody is asking about FIST integration, how many of you talked about profits? What will happen to profit? How profit is calculated? Anybody explained? Or you stopped at the billing BRS payment?
Not explained, sir. We stopped it there. Billing
Alright?
BRS.
Most of the people will stop there. At the billing they stop, or they go until the customer payment, bank reconciliation, it is fine. That everybody is talking. You add additional point. Profits are not accounted during your FIST integration because it is confidential information. What system will do to calculate all the profit? You will be using another functionality called what?
Opa.
COPA. You will be using another functionality called COPA. Tell a friend that COPA will be used to calculate the product level profit. In COPA, system will capture against every sales order what is the COGS booked, against every sales order what is the billing booked. Similarly, against the sales order what is the material, who is the customer, everything will get captured there. To find out the product level profitability, we have to depend on the COPA report. In case if the client wants to look at the profits, then you may have to develop a custom report. Let's say, for example, I'm a client. Now I've made 10 sales in this month. I want to know what is my profit from this 10 sales. I don't want to go to COPA and all. I just want a basic accounting report through which I can find out if I put an invoice number, if I put a sales order number, I want to know what is the profit from it. Profit is how profit is calculated in SAP or in general accounting, sales minus the cost of goods sold. Agree? Profit is calculated sales minus COGS. Is this correct or not?
Yes.
Right? When you are performing the PGI, your accounting entry, COGS debit, inventory credit. Your COGS you have or not?
Yes.
Now when you perform the billing document, customer account debit, sales account credit, you have a sales account or not? Right?
Yes.
In your billing document, you are getting accounting entry, customer account debit, sales account credit. Is that right or wrong?
Right.
Right? Now, when you're talking about COGS, where is your COGS? Debit or credit?
Debit.
A bit.
In your accounting entry, COGS is on the debit side or is on the credit side?
Debit.
COGS
A
will
bit
be
It is
side.
on the debit side. Now, in your accounting entry, sales is on the debit side or it is on the credit side?
Credit side.
It is on the credit side. Now, debit all incomes or debit all expenses?
Debit
Expense.
all.
Debit what? Debit all expenses.
Expense.
Now, your COGS is what? Expense,
Yes.
Yes.
right? Credit all income. Sales is an income,
Yes.
Yes.
right? Now, your P&L shows debit side all the expenses, credit side all the income. Normally, 100 rupees product you will sell for more than 100 rupees or less than 100 rupees in a normal business scenario.
More than
More
More
than
100.
than
100.
100.
More than 100. So your sales value is always higher than your cost value. Agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Sales value or selling price is always higher than cost price. My cost is 100, my selling price is 120. What is my profit?
20.
20. Now, in case your interviewer is asking, after performing a particular sales order, how do you know that what is the profit from it? They might simply give you an example. Let's say that we've made a sale of for 120 rupees for which the product value is 100 rupees. Can you tell me from where I can see this 20 rupees? How accounting entry is passed for this 20 rupees? Is there any practical physical accounting entry that is recorded for this 20 rupees?
No.
Will there be any accounting entry to capture this 20 rupees as a profit as part of your
No,
FIST integration?
no.
Hmm?
No, sir.
No. When
Yes,
I put this question in your interview, when you tell you worked on SAP for 4 years, when you tell you worked on FIST integration, when you tell you know FIST integration, if I put this question, can you please tell me how, in a basic fundamental layman language, 100 rupees profit product is sold for 120 rupees, 20 rupees is my profit, even an illiterate can tell. How will you show this 20 rupees profit from my sales or from my billing document, from my invoice? How do I get this 20 rupee profit represented? Will you be able to convince, explain?
Yes.
Yes.
Right? So when somebody is asking these kind of questions, make sure you can answer. Don't wait until somebody puts this kind of a question. You take some of scenarios and then you try to explain. This is how SAP works. This is
In
how.
that case, Ajay, our answer will be if we won't do it in the FIS integration, the profit calculation, we will use COPA to do that.
To see the profit at product level, you will use COPA, but your accounting entry is already recorded. COGS account will go and sit in the debit side of your P&L because COGS is an expense account.
Okay, so it is already, we don't need any separate entries already done by the COGS.
Correct. In your accounting, you will not be able to see the profit at product level, profit at sale level. You will see overall profit at business operation level. That is where you call it as operating profit, net profit. If you wanted to find out on this particular sale, whatever I made to this particular customer, what is my profit? Or on this particular product, what is my profit? In this particular store, what is my profit? At any key combination, if you would like to analyze your profit, you have to depend on COPA. Now, when somebody is asking you about have you worked on COPA, do not tell no. Tell that you did not get an opportunity to work on COPA, but in your project COPA was implemented, and then tell you had a dedicated CO consultant in your project. Wherever ST module is implemented, COPA will also be implemented. Majoritarily, wherever there is ST, there is COPA. Because profits cannot be analyzed in FI, profits can only be analyzed in COPA. Meaning certain points are interconnected. When I say certain points are interconnected, if you do not know these interconnections, if you do not know this logic fundamental, because you are telling everything correct in your ST integration, and you are telling I don't know COPA, and you are telling you are the only FICO consultant working in your project, how it is possible? Not possible. Meaning your answer is revealing everything. Just a single statement, I do not know, revealing everything. Don't do it. Don't make certain silly mistakes. Tell that yes, your client was using a COPA, but you were not working on COPA as you had a dedicated CO consultant. You were taking care only about FI module. That is fine. Everybody will accept it. But don't tell you do not know doesn't mean that your client is not using something. Certain statements, majoritarily people will pass, especially in the interview, just to bypass at that moment. But there are certain points which are interconnected. If you are removing that point, if you are adding certain point, that will hold very negative opinion. So very much negative opinion, all the positive impact opinion, whatever you gained, because of this kind of a single word, single statement, everything will be collapsed. Because these are so dangerous statements that we pass in the interview because we do not know the impact of it. Okay.
What
But
about the product?
Ajay, the entry will cost of goods sold you are telling na. So cost of goods sold is amount is 120 or 100?
100.
100
Cost
and
of goods sold
in
is always the value of the product that you are selling.
so entry will be 100, but when it's coming for the billing na, so there
It will be 120.
Customer account debit 120, right?
120. Because when you are creating a sales order is always created at a selling price. For example, in short, when you purchase anything, when you are purchasing anything, let's say you are purchasing something from any online platform, Amazon, Flipkart, or anything. There they are showing some price, like let's say product is on sale for 200 rupees. Now you are placing an order, right? When you create any order, when you buy anything in Amazon, you will get an order ID.
Yes.
If the order ID is showing 200 rupees, let's say whether you put cash on delivery, whether you make prepayment or advance payment, whatsoever. When you receive the bill, your bill will come for the same amount that you place the order, or it will come for a different time, different value.
No, same. It's 200 only.
Same value. Meaning in the order, whatever the price is there, in the billing is also same price.
Yes.
Right? I am selling, or you are selling a product to me for 200 rupees. I placed an order. I negotiated with you for 200. You agreed, okay, 200 is okay. I got the product from you. Then I paid you 200 rupees. Are you going to tell me what is your cost? I got it only for 80 rupees. I am selling it to you for 200. Are you going to reveal it to me?
No.
Are you going to reveal it to your staff?
No.
Why? Because that is your secret, right? You don't
Yes.
want anybody
Yes.
to trace it.
Yes.
Even in SAP, that is the reason when you book any delivery document is booked by a different user, PGI is done by a different user, billing is done by a different user, payment is collected by a different user, reconciliation is done by another user. You may be finding 3-4 users, right? And strictly there is an audit here. When I say strictly there is an audit, if I am the person who is creating a sales order, I am not supposed to deliver the product. Agree?
Yes.
If I am the person who is selling it to the customer, I am not supposed to receive the money from customer. Somebody else will have to record that entry. Because though the customer is not paying money physically, I can pass an entry, money is collected. Possible?
Yes.
Right? So to avoid all this kind of a thing, there is something called segregation of duties. So when you are working on the rules, roles or authorization metrics, all these points will be taken into consideration. It may not be necessarily related to FICO, but as a functional consultant, you'll have to act, you'll have to keep knowledge from the functionality point of view and from your FICO point of view. That is why FICO consultant is always represented as a functional consultant. Everybody heard, right? We have a requirement for FICO functional consultant because they are expecting your business function knowledge also.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Uh,
you may be good at a technical point of view. I know what is a T code to create a delivery. I know what is a T code to do a billing and all. But when it comes to business process, when a client or when a user is giving you a call explaining a scenario, this is what we wanted to capture, or this is what I wanted to do, but unfortunately I did it in a wrong way. You need to first understand what happened there. Agree? Before you go to T code
yes.
and all. It is the same T code,
Yes.
but user did a mistake, something went wrong. Your balance sheet is showing a different number. Actually, material is given to the customer. Customer already took the material, customer left. But due to some reason, delivery document not posted. Stock is showing, but stock is not there. My balance sheet is overvaluated. Stock I need to remove it. MM consultant will have to look into it. They say that it's okay, you can remove it, I can remove it stock from my side. Then what about your financial impact? It is having the equivalent value in your balance sheet.
Yes.
Right? All these points you have to connect, you have to think through. Only then it is practically possible for us to understand business process. Else, it is a simple transaction code, movement type, debit entry, credit entry, over. But this is over only from your interview preparation point of view. When you're in a project, this is not over. That is just the beginning. There you need to understand the different scenarios based on the basic. If your base is strong, if you're comfortable, strong on the fundamental, any scenario which is coming, everything will come over and above this. Meaning this base will remain fixed in every scenario. On top of it, maybe a little bit modifications will be there. If your base is clear, you will be able to understand any scenario. If your base is unclear, if you're confused here, you are completely confused.
But if it is a service, for example, we are selling a goods. If it is a service, we sometimes some company will provide the service now. So in that time, entry will like
Same.
service
They'll
account
be creating a service
debit.
master for a service. It will be service material. The way you have a material master for a physical product, in the similar way, there will be a material master for the service master. Service material will also be there. This also will be there. There is a separate evaluation class for normal material, separate evaluation class for the service material. Accordingly, you will trigger the GL account. These things will be taken care by your MM consultant. You have material classified as valuated material, non-valuated material. Anytime you heard
Yes,
stock material, non-stock material,
non-stock material.
right? These points will be used in different terminologies. I mean, in the different context, different points will come into picture.
I mean, entry how it will post like non-stock.
Same accounting entry. Accounting entry is the same. Instead of stock, whatever you have, I've only mentioned the stock. You will put as separate material, service material. If it is a service, you are going to put, let's say, XYZ trading services, consulting services credit. Whatever the
Okay.
service that you are going to represent, your client will tell how they are calling that service. If it is a
Yes.
finished product, raw material, your client will have a name for it. The same service material, whatever is assigned to a valuation class, this will be connected to a GL account.
Okay. This calculated in GBB, right? Non-stock material.
COGS is GBB, inventory is still BSX. That's what I'm telling, there is no change. It's only a GL account change, name change. From the config point of view, as a FICO consultant, whatever you do, it remains the same. It is just
Yes.
that GL account name COGS product, COGS material, COGS service. I'm just going to add after COGS, COGS trading goods, COGS finished good, COGS packing material, COGS semi-finished material, COGS services. Raw
Okay.
material, finished product, service. Inventory, services, inventory raw, inventory semi-finished, inventory finished, inventory packing. Similarly, inventory service or service material.
Yes, Ajay. If it is an
Okay.
intercompany transfer, if for example, some same company holding same company, somebody has a stock, so some
There
company
you
will
have
get
two
a
things.
order. No?
When there are two things, you need to see whether it is between the plant or it is within the plant. If it is between the plant, there is an accounting entry. If it is within the plant, there is no accounting entry because your inventory is valuated at plant level. One material can have different rate, different price at each plant. For example, you are holding or you are having a material and you are operating in Hyderabad and you are having another store in Mumbai, or within the Hyderabad you have 3-4 plants. Now, if these two plants are having same price, there is no monetary impact. There is no different. But what if one plant is having 100 rupees, another plant is having 120 rupees or 103 rupees? There is a variation in price,
Yes.
right? This variation will attract price differences.
Okay. Price
Entry will be
difference.
material debit, material credit. There is no other impact. You are debiting material from one plant, you are crediting material to another plant. In short, you are receiving from from one plant, you are sending from another plant. Sending plant will be credited, receiving plant will be debited because debit what comes in, credit what goes out. One plant material is going out, meaning sending plant is sending the material. From sending plant, material is going out. Material account debit, sending a plant. Material account credit, sending plant. Material account debit, receiving plant. Receiving plant, sending plant, if they have the different valuation of the material, it will be debited, it will be credited at the respective plant prices. Difference between these two will attract price difference.
This price difference will get a one more entry, or it will same amount will
Same entry. The difference between two prices will be posted to price difference, either a debit or a credit.
like suppose vendor account debit, price difference account credit, right?
No, 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 no. Stock account debit 100
Sir,
rupees. Stock account credit 103 rupees. Difference between debit and credit, how much?
stock account, come again, sir.
Stock debit 100. Stock credit
Okay,
103.
3 rupees.
3
3
rupees.
rupees. Where is this 3 rupees missing, on the debit or on the credit?
Credit.
100 on the debit, 100 on the debit side, 103 on the credit side. Where is 3 missing? On the debit side or on the credit
On the
side?
debit side.
Debit side. Debit side.
Debit.
Debit.
Price difference will be on the debit side. That's it.
Price
Sir,
difference.
if the material is having a
Okay.
variable average cost
Moving
pricing
average
method,
price.
even moving average price, in that case also this
Same thing.
PRD will come, sir.
In that case also PRT will come because you're sending it from two different plants, right? If it is within the plant, it is not an intercompany scenario. As per your question, it will not come unless there is no stock. In the moving average price scenario, price difference will come only when there is no stock. As long as the stock is there, your price difference will not come in moving average price. It will be adjusted
Okay.
with the remaining stock.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
Sir,
All right.
sir,
Let me stop
hello.
this here. Let me continue in the next session because I have some other work now. Okay, the remaining portion we will continue in the next session. I think we are still left with how many? 15 more questions. Table entries, Z report, BSEC, intercompany. They're all simple only. This we will I'll close all these questions, the remaining questions in the next session. All right. Fine then. So we'll connect in the next session. Good night.